Chapter 7, Section 1. I need you to write those two definitions on a piece of paper: a direct variation and an inverse variation. Direct variation is expressed in the form y equal kx. Inverse variation is expressed as y equal k over x. Direct because the two variables behave the same manner. As one increases, the other one increases as well, while in inverse variation they behave in an opposite manner. As one increases, the other one decreases. Now what we're going to do, we're going to do some exercises. I need you to take some notes, and we're going to start with number 1. How can we identify? Okay, starting with number 1. Number 1, as you can tell, if you solve for y, and you're going to have y equal 1 over 3x, or simply 1/3 divided by x. This is to the form k over x, which is inverse variation. Part 2, it's already k over x. It is already in that form. It's an inverse variation. Number 3, it's an equation of a line. We have a y-intercept at 11. Therefore, it is not direct, it's not inverse, it's in neither. Number 4 is the same thing. This is an equation of a line, and this particular line not necessarily passes through the origin. It is called in neither. For number 5, we have the form k times x. K is the constant of variation. K is 4/5. That's direct. This is again an equation of a line. This is linear in neither. For number 7, it is in the form, if you want to rewrite it, as 1 over 7 times x, which is k times x, and this would be direct variation. This one here, if you attempt to solve for y and you divide by 6x, you will have y equal to 0. Y equal to 0, it's a horizontal line. Horizontal line, it's neither direct nor inverse. This is a neither. Finally, for number 9, if you were to cross multiply and solve for y equal 9x. This is direct. It's a k times x, a direct variation. Number 10, you're given a table here. We're going to decide, is the relationship inverse, direct, or neither? For the relationship to be inverse, we want to multiply x by y and have the same exact constant. So I went ahead and multiplied x by y. 2 times 4 gave me 8. 4 times 16 gave me 64. As you can see, those are not the same constant. So the relationship here is not inverse. Then I went and said, okay, y over x. If this relationship is the same constant, then it would be direct. But as you can see, if I take 4 and divide it by 2, I get a 2, a 4, a 9, 8, and 10. It's not the same constant, therefore it is not direct either. So this is going to be a neither. We're going to do the same thing for number 11 and 12. Number 11. As you can see, I did the table here, and I multiplied x by y. And since I multiplied 1 by 5 and got a 5, 5 times 1 is a 5, 8 times 6, 25 is 5, 20 times 0.25 is 5. So all of these are the same constant, then obviously this variation is an inverse variation. I attempted to do the y over x, and the first two were not the same. I didn't continue, so it is not direct. Okay, number 12, as you can see, I did all the work. And so I took the table, multiplied every x by y, and the first one was 1. The second one didn't compare. It's not the same, and the next one is not the same. So I know I didn't want to continue. It is not inverse. On the y divided by x, I started divided every y by every x, and I got the same exact constant of variation. That tells me that this variation is direct. Okay, we are on to number 13. Number 13, they told you the variation here is inverse. So that means your y equal k over x, Or you can think of it as x times y will give you certain constant. If you're given x is 2 and y is 2, that constant is equal to 4. So the second part to the question is, can you find y when x is 5? So if y equal k over x, and we just found k to be 4 and x is 5, this is what y will be. Next, we're going to go to number 14. Number 14 is the same thing. We know the variation is inverse, so x times y is equal to a certain constant. We just have to figure out what that constant is. It's going to be 6 times 3, which is 18. The question was, what would be y if x is 5? So if the constant is 18 and x is 5, y will be 18 over 5. Next is number 15, which is the same problem. We have an inverse variation that tells us that x times y equal a constant. We just have to figure out what that constant is. If we were to multiply 20 by 7 over 20, that constant is 7. But the question was, what would be y if x is 5? If k is 7 and x is 5, y will be 7/5. Last is number 16. Number 16 again is the same problem. We have an inverse variation. That means x times y equal to a constant k. So that constant is going to give us 10 over 9 times 3 over 2. You reduce here, you get a 5. You reduce here, you get a 3. So that constant is 5 over 3. To answer the question, what would be y if k is 5/3 and x is 5 over 1? Can we multiply by the reciprocal? 5 over 3 times 1 over 5. Cancel your 5, and y equal to 1/3. Okay, as for number 17, I just need you to notice something. They told you the volume V is inversely proportional to the pressure P. That should give you a formula. That means it's V equal K over P. The first part of the problem is they gave you everything you need so you can find what K is. So I'm going to go over here and say if a volume is 20, and K is what I'm looking for, the pressure is 32, that gives us K equal 20 times 32, which gives us 640. That's a constant. Now the question was, here is the question. The question is to find what the pressure is. And so I'm going to go over here and say, okay, to answer the question, I am going to go to the formula V equal K over P. If the volume is T and K is 640, can we solve for P? Of course we can solve for P. We just had to do cross multiply here, and 10P equal to 640, which gives us a P equal to 64 pounds per inches square. Okay, finally number 18. For number 18, I want you to look at this statement right here. When they tell you T it varies inversely of N, that means you can come up with a formula that T equal a constant divided by N. The next thing you want to look at is this part right here. They gave you N, they gave you T, that means go ahead and find K. If T is equal to 20 and K is what we're looking for and N is 7, that gives us K equal 140. It's a number, it's a constant. Now we're going to answer the question. As you can see here, the question is, how long does it take if you have 10 workers? So the T is going to equal from here, K is 140, and you're going to have 10 workers. So it's going to take 14 days.